What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with another Tesla update video where we take a look at how Tesla stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Tesla stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me pull up Tesla for us real quick, and I will hit record. We can get right into it. So another great green day for Tesla. Not much of a surprise there, right? We're getting used to these green days. Up about $18 on the day, which is 2.23%, down $1 after hours. But not too bad there. If we take a look at NASDAQ, right, NASDAQ is up 1.53%. The Dow Jones was up 0.39%, 120 points, and then the S&P was up only 0.79% as well. Compared to that, Tesla outperformed all the major indexes, which is great, which is something that we like seeing when comparing Tesla. So the last trading day, which was Friday, we saw a push towards this 826 level, but we couldn't quite break into it after falling below that level, right, with the little bit of a sell-off that we saw on Friday. And we gapped up, and then we were sideways in pre-market. Right out of the gate, we pushed up towards this 847 level that we have drawn. As we could see, it acted as pretty good resistance. We made it to 849, and then we came right back down, and we're hovering around VWAP, and then we went down to kind of this 830s level, and we were trading between 835 and 840, and then came this late push that took us from 835 to 845, where we made it above VWAP. We got a bounce off VWAP, but then we broke back down, came above VWAP, bounce off VWAP, and then a push up. So Tesla was all over the place today, below VWAP, above VWAP, VWAP test, VWAP fails, falling below it, falling above it, late push. We had it all. So it was a lot of action-filled day for Tesla, not just one direction like we kind of saw on Friday, where it was generally one direction, selling off for the day. Let's take a look now at the daily chart, and we'll try to see if we can identify some future levels of support and resistance levels for us. So what we see here is Tesla has been kind of calm after this huge run up from this low 700s to 884, which it did in just 4 trading days. So it makes sense that a little bit of kind of settling down, kind of establishing that base before it starts to push back up, that is definitely needed, and I'm kind of glad to see it doing that, right? Because it lessens the chance that we have of a crazy pullback because we've pulled up we've gone up too much too fast. So let's take a look at some levels of support that we have. So first and foremost, you guys know I like looking at those EMAs. Let me get rid of the drawings here for just a second, and I want to point something out. So if we take a look at this great run that Tesla has had, this 8 EMA has always held up. Even if we opened below it, we went above it. We've always closed above the 8 EMA. Even this day, we opened below it, we closed above the 8 EMA, with the exception of this red day that we had where we were below VWAP by like $2 or $3, right? Other than that, as you can see, we've always been above this 8 EMA going all the way back to kind of mid-November, right? For about 2 months now, we've kept that up. So I'm looking for that to continue. Now the 8 EMA right now is at 823.36, looking for a close above 823.36, right? So we're at 824 right now. That gives us about a $21 run room to the downside before we get that. But if history's any indication over the past 2 months, we should be closing above that number. And not doing so would kind of scare me just a little bit if we weren't able to capture it quickly. Now, bringing back these drawings for us, what we have here on the downside is this 826 level. That would be my first level of support that I look at, right, which is pretty close to our 8 EMA as well at 823. So this 826, 823 level, I think should hold up as our kind of first level of support. If we see more of a sell-off, we've got this right here, the low point, near the 800 level, right? This is at 803. And then after that, I'm looking at this 775 level before kind of looking at the 21 EMA at 757, right? So that's the downside if we see a sell-off, right? Tomorrow's the inauguration day, which could cause uncertainty in the markets if Tesla happens to get caught up in that, right? Again, to the downside, we've got this 823, 826 level. We've got the 800 mental resistance with this 803 low point from 111. we've got the 775 and then we've got the 757 with the 21 EMA. But what I think more likely is going to happen, I would like to see at least, is a run into earnings. Tesla has earnings coming up a week from tomorrow, similar to Apple. So I'm expecting a little bit of a run towards earning, hopefully pushing up towards all-time highs. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of draw out for us is this trend line here going upward. And then if I take a look at this trend line here coming downwards, so far it's been trading in this little wedge, and if that continues, we could potentially see a breakout happen with a run into earnings. So I'll be on the lookout for that, right? We see this wedge pattern developing here for us, trading in a much narrower range that it was. So we'll see. It's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. So we'll see if the pattern continues and we get a little bit of a push, right? So that means if it goes up, I'm looking for a either rejection of this 860 level for now, right? Or it could keep going up and break out. And then similarly, if it comes down to this 820s level, I'm hoping that it bounces as a good support. But as we could see a little bit of a, run up as we get to the end of this, assuming tomorrow isn't like a crazy down day and it breaks this wedge, right? So that's what I'm looking at. From another thing that I'm looking at, I think that I could see it running into earnings, maybe hitting this all-time high. And then if earnings are normal and we don't get some crazy news coming out of earnings, I could see that being a sell the news type of event with a little bit of a sell-off after. Not saying it's going to crash, but if it does end up running towards all-time highs before then I could see a little bit of a pullback. Now, the other thing that I'm watching that I like to share with you guys on Tesla, let me bring in my Tastyworks here. This 15 EMA and then the 180-day SMA, that number is at 838. We are above that number right now. We're at 844. But closely watching this 15 EMA and then this 180-day SMA, which is at 682, because the last time we broke below that. If you guys have these charts, I've shown it in a couple of my videos already. We fell all the way to the 180-day SMA. So it's nice that we're above it, but I'm keeping a close eye on that since we are pretty close, to make sure that we continue to stay above it and hopefully don't see a pullback. I don't think we'd pull back all the way to 682 necessarily, but we could see a little bit of a pullback if we break this and aren't able to capture it. So between watching that in the 830s, watching the EMA in the 820, that's what I'm looking at on the downside, right, as kind of my indicators of could there be a little bit of a pullback coming, but more so on the upside, looking at this pattern, looking at the all-time high, and looking at the run into earnings as we get into next week. So that's what I'm looking out for. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.